Good morning and welcome to the Good Morning Africa show on Housing TV Africa. I am Yemuna Bagudu. Now today promises to be a very exciting and informative one. We have a very interesting topic to speak about. But before we outline what we'll be doing on the show today, I have my beautiful co-host with me. Good morning, Joyce.
Morning, Memuna.
I love your hairstyle.
Thanks to you. I think the world should know you helped out with that.
Ah, that's good.
Okay, so it's always a delight to be here. I hope you are sitting put, ready to be informed, so you can make valuable decisions for you to become a better person. Now, Memuna said something about an interesting topic we have, and that's because our focus this morning concerns everybody. Whether you're a teenager, you're a child, you're an adult, you're an elderly person, we're talking food. Because Nigerians just want to eat.
Exactly.
So we're looking at agricultural projects, food security, and sufficiency. How have you been coping?
Wow, trust me, it's not easy. Things are very expensive, and it's funny that when you go to the market to purchase an item today, and then you go the next day, double the price, and then sometimes you don't even have to, like, there are particular things you buy that you don't even find them nowadays. So trust me, it's not easy, and I'm just trying to wonder how other people cope, people with larger families,
people with children, people who should give, they say an egg a day for a child, and a crate of egg
is been, yes, a crate of egg. Yeah,
skyrocketing.
A crate of egg now should be going for 4,000.
No, it's
yes,
far way beyond that.
So you see,
about a 5,000, even slightly above 5,000.
you can
right
imagine.
now.
Wow. Okay, so our focus on the Good Morning Africa show this morning is agricultural projects, food security, and sufficiency. As we all know, it's not been easy in the country at the moment, most especially when it comes to food. And the good thing about food is it unites everyone together, regardless of your religion, your tribe, your age, just like you clearly stated. It concerns everybody, young, old, man, woman, black, whoever you are, it concerns everyone. So today we have a specialist who is, very versatile and good in the agricultural sector, in person of Onapoma Martins. He is the founder and president of Quebec Food Processing Industrial Parks Limited. He's also the founder and president of Quebec Agricultural and Food Processing Cooperative Society Limited, and the organizer of Make We Go Farm initiative. We've had him on the show, very brilliant man, when it comes to agriculture. He knows, all of the issues that are facing the sector and how to find possible solutions to them. But before we welcome our guest, let's go on a quick break. I Can Make It is also on standby.
Good morning again. I trust we all slept very well, and I believe we woke up hopeful, because what I want to talk about is very relatable to every human being that walks the face of the earth. I want to talk about a 4-letter word, and that is time. T-I-M-E, time. You've all heard of the song. I think they sang that song, or whoever sang it like a while ago. Time, not money, oh, something like that. And then there's also the saying that time is of the essence. And they also say once you lose time, you can't have it back. And that last phrase is what I want to dwell on. Now, just think along with me for a moment, okay? From the time you were born to the time you draw your last breath, what happens in between? Food for thought, right? They say from the cradle to the grave. What have we achieved in between? I heard a very respectable apostle say some time back that the human life is segmented into 4 sections: the morning time, afternoon time, evening time, and the night time. And what struck me about this was, and still is, the night time of a human being's life. Because at that point in time, I call it the wrap-up time. You know how it is when probably you're shooting a movie and they say, wrap it up? That is the wrap-up time of every man and every woman on the earth. That is a time where you're brushing up on the legacy you've left behind. That is a time where you're brushing up on the values, the worth, the morals surrounding your life. Little wonder that people that have taken out time to know what essence of time means, they don't joke. They don't have time to waste. You look at them and you're wondering, why are they always on the run? Why are they always on the move? They have focus. There's a price before them. They have precision. They're defined. There's something they're aiming for, and once you aim for something that is in front of you, you can't afford to be distracted. What are your goals? What are your plans? What are your intentions? Who are you? What are you doing here on earth at this time? Why were you born in this century? Why were you born in this millennium? What do I have to offer? What do I have not to offer? What do I have to give? What do I have not to give? Questions, questions, questions. But if you can take out time and make up your mind to hone yourself, to train yourself through the fire. After all, they say that how can you get perfume if a rose petal or rose petals are not crushed? How do you get gold? How do you get silver if they're not taken through the fire? Why are we so much in a hurry to get to the finishing line when we've not even as much as prepped ourselves? Sometimes we hurry into self-destruction. Sometimes we hurry into calamity. Sometimes we hurry into premature death or undeserving death. Whether it's mental death, psychological death, physical death, spiritual death. But there's a death somewhere because we did not apply time as we ought to. Let's not hurry in life. Let's take out time, and do the needful. What really needs to be done in my life to make me matter? I talked about power. I talked about value. Talking about time. They're all interrelated. There's a common thread that binds them all together. If you take out time to build, don't compare yourself while you're building. And guess what? Whether you're building a home, whether you're building yourself, whether you're building a career, whether you're building a family, do not compare yourself to the next person, be it your neighbor, be it a friend, be it a family member, be it a stranger, be it your enemy. Do not compare. It's so dangerous. You are you, and uniquely tailored for that matter. Aside from twins that look alike so much, Even at that, I read somewhere that it has been scientifically proven that no human being has the same palm print. That is how different you are from the next person. So why not run your race per time? Take out time and do you. Build yourself and train yourself to be unique. Do not waste time. Because once you lose time, you can't get it back. Oh, I was going to read that book like 2 days ago. If I'd started, I would have been probably on chapter 44. But because I didn't read 2 days ago, I'm on chapter 20. I can't bring back 2 days ago. I can't bring 2 days ago into my reality or into my present. It's not possible. It's not doable. So let's make use of what we have right now. Let's make up for the time lost. They say make hay while the sun shines. Time is of the essence. It's important to maximize time. Because when we get to the latter phase of our lives and we look back, we could say that, that wasn't bad at all. Time. Let's maximize time. Let's make the best use of time. Because in the long run, what you do with your time really does matter. So, as I inspired this morning, I'm going to close by saying, tick-tock, 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 tick-tock goes the clock. Let's not waste any more time, because you still have time to make the best of your situation. Until next time, let's keep winning. Bye.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Welcome back. Some good inspiration for everyday life. Now, moving on, we're looking at food sufficiency and security. And one popular quote by Nelson Mandela of blessed memory that comes to mind, I would love to quote that, says, as long as poverty, injustice, and gross inequality persist in our land or in our world, none of us can truly rest.
True. Very deep.
Something to think about
Yes, something
as we
to
talk
think
about this topic. So, doing justice to the focus, what's on our front burner this morning is Mr. Martins on Apona.
Yes, you're welcome, Mr. Martin. So, our focus today is agricultural projects, food security, and sufficiency. As someone who is into the agricultural sector deeply, just kindly define what food security and sufficiency really means in a layman's term.
Okay, thank you so much for having me one more time.
You're welcome.
In a layman's term, you could recall what transpired earlier this month. Nigerians were in their minds, their view, as a result of high cost of food, lack of availability, quality issues and all that. So I think it's food sufficiency is the ability, I could define it as something whereby if a system where there is put in place for the humans to have access to something to consume on daily basis. So when it's not sufficient, it becomes a problem. Then food security in a layman's understanding, which I'm just picking us back from what the end back government they talked about, but let's, on this context, let's focus on end hunger, which requires a major subject matter, food. Now, food security, you could define it as ensuring that food is always available at all time. When it's no longer available, then you can term it as food insecurity. And I think we should dwell more on food insecurity because currently there's no food security, there's no food sufficiency.
Okay, so around the world, it's a rare case for food production to be in proportion with the population size. For example, in Africa, a resource rich in human natural resources and all of that, we deal with hunger issues every day. Now, I'd like to ask, what governs the spread of food production? What is the rationale behind it?
The spread or the unavailability of food.
No, I said, for example, Africa, a resource-rich continent, deals with hunger and subsidy-based agriculture, while developed countries flourish beyond their need. What governs the spread of food production? What is the rationale behind it?
Taking Africa, taking Nigeria as a case study as it is today, our government need to do more to ensure that there's increase in production. Now, if you are trying to compare us, African countries, especially Nigeria, to developed countries, they have all that is needed to ensure things work out very well. They're always ahead of time. Take, for example, they are aware of the issue of climate change, and they have started dealing with it before we as a nation start looking at that area and all that. Secondly, farmers are not really getting updates. The real farmers are not really getting updates at us when due and all that like that. So in terms of making things to work faster, the government should also know that agriculture play a major role in ensuring our economy grows very well because we are dealing with humans here. Sometimes people talk about government, I see it as a word. Government is not a robot. They are humans who manage their affairs, who implement policies, who make bills. So you also need humans to make sure the implementation of those policies work effectively. So for the developed countries you are talking about, they make their policies, they ensure that the policies are what? Be implemented.
Something our leaders should learn from.
Exactly. So, Mr. Martins, before I move to my next question concerning, because you made mention of climate change, you know, this issue is one issue that we want to find out the generation of this issue. In that way, we can be able to get a solution to it. So, what can you say are the causes of um, food insecurity, like you know clearly mentioned, food security, and also the availability of food presently now in our country?
Currently, there are shortage of food, which you know very well, and the factors are very many. But the one people can only lay hands on or can point out is one, insecurity. But you agree with me that the issue of insecurity is not an issue that covers the 36 states and the FCT. Now, when this issue of insecurity started, it was mainly focused on the Northeast. Northwest was doing fine at some point. North Central was doing fine at some point. Southeast was doing fine at some point. I think South they are still doing fine to a certain level, and the Southwest. The only issue here is you can still say lack of labor, discouragement of unavailability of youths to be involved in farming has also led to food insecurity and unavailability of food. Like there's a research that was done recently, and it shows that the aged farmers are still ready to farm, but strength has failed them. Their job is, I have certain hectares of land, I want to plant, I need someone to prepare the soil, land clearing and all that, take the soil and all that. I need someone to pay to get this done for me. The aged farmers can't find youth anymore. You see how urban cities are being congested on daily basis, and that is one of the issues now. So security is one, we can say. Lack of government support is another thing, but I will want to say this. We cannot actually point it to this current administration because they are still very young in their own government. So past administration, a lot of policies and promises made were not kept. Take for instance, you know, I do a live radio program. That was Wednesday, Make We Go Farm. And I was talking about the current government, talking about based on feedback, you know, the government said they have had the end hunger protests. Let's not talk about end bad governance now. You understand? That is too early for us to talk about. Let's talk about how do we end hunger. The government is now saying that, okay, they are going to cultivate 10 million hectares of land. The land administration said they would do 4 million hectares of land under the watch of the NISA PLC, and the agency of the government that has to de-risk, involved in de-risk processes to ensure that things get better. You get? Now, they said they want to do 4 million hectares, giving priority to certain crops like cassava, rice, and all that. We're not going to talk about Anchor Boras for, let's put that aside. I'm just making you to understand that these things can be achieved if government are proactive. Now, that last administration target was to also have 8 million farmers to cultivate 4 million hectares of land. And don't forget, we have almost 70 million hectares of land uncultivated in the country. So out of 70 million plus, land administration are telling you they will do 4 million. If that is actually achieved, it will go a long way to address food insecurity and food lack of food availability.
Okay.
Then that is one end. Security of farmers. Farmers' either crashes and all that.
That's been in the news recently.
Exactly.
I will wrap it here on this particular question, that a lot is being done on the part of the government. Though I'm not an affiliate of any political party, I need to state it clear. But a lot is being done by their policies. It's just that Nigerians want instant results.
Of course.
But that's not possible. But we can also do what we call short-term crops that can at least, and that's why I also advise at any time I have opportunities to speak to Nigerians and the government. The truth is, come up with a plan. If we are going to go through this issue of food insufficiency and food insecurity for the next 12 months, tell us. They will know that we'll go through the whole process while you implement your policies. After 12 months, then let there be availability of food.
Okay, let me take you back to climate change, which you made mention of. And then I would love to find out from you, how does climate change have adverse impact on food production?
Well, climate change has a lot that is happening to Nigeria now, especially our rural communities. And part of what we're trying to do now with our 4th edition Make We Go Farm workshop, the theme of the workshop is going to be climate smart agriculture, with a key focus on cassava and rice value chain. Now, what climate can do to it definitely reduce our agricultural production. No doubt, it's very clear. Secondly, weather changes on our weather system. The recent report by MNet, if I'm right,
Nimet.
that rains will stay till November now, which means Nigerians can take another advantage for another second cycle farming. Now, before, rain stops within September ending stroke October 20-something. So that is as a result of climate activities. Now, it also had to do with temperature. Now, it will affect quality of food as well. That's why most of our mothers, please hear me very clearly. You notice you prepare your meal. After a few hours, because you covered it, you didn't store it, the food will get sour. These are effects of climate change, even as far to prepared meal. If you have observed that too, these are effects of climate change and all that. So the only thing we can do is to see that relevant research institutions in Nigeria should keep updating farmers at a very, let it be at the fingertips of farmers on time, so that we can avoid losses, because a lot of farmers are actually losing a lot. So we can go on and begin to throw our lights, the impacts, the negative impact, whether positive or negative impact of climate change. The truth is, climate change is something that every nation, every agencies of government that are in charge of agric-related and all that needs to do more to ensure that we avert those issues that are ahead of us. You can see so many countries are already working on that, investing so much on climate agriculture. Last 2 months, we were part of a team that actually had a workshop on that as well. Farmers need to get more information, detailed reports on the subject matter and how we can avoid the effect of climate change in agricultural produce.
Okay, so let's hear about other challenges faced by Nigerian farmers and food transporters. That could potentially
that area is something we all know of. Now, the cost of fuel is another issue.
Is that what is taking a toll on
yes, that's one.
pricing and
That's
all of
one. The cost means of transportation is one. The middleman is two. You get it? Like farmers now, what they do is most of them, let me just start this way. Agriculture or farming is not something you just go into without getting your mind prepared.
For losses.
Yes, for losses and all that. So there are ways to go around it. You need to look for, before you take off any particular crop, you must get yourself involved. You must look at means of transportation to the nearby market. You must also try to look for a ready market before you get this done. So these prices you are talking about, transport is one major thing. But I also call it as the human factor. Because that's why we're also suggesting that through our Make We Go Farm initiative, we are saying farming is possible in every rural communities. That reduce interstate transport of food products. Of course, there are different patterns of you farming now. There are greenhouses, there are hydroponics and all that. So we do not even need to transport food, certain commodities from Kaduna to Lagos. So if we begin to explore such new ideas of farming, it will crack down the high cost of transportation. Then let's talk about the main point, farmers. The truth still remains that people will always say farmers are not sincere. But I will not mention some international organizations that have interface with us because of what we do. They have noticed that it's not that farmers are not truthful, but farmers are being cheated by one, the quality of seed and fertilizers you give to them. Now, it doesn't take up to 2 weeks for you to know if a seed you gave to a farmer is a good one. It will show within a week. If the quality of seed is not good, the quality of fertilizer and pesticide, herbicides and all that, it will affect the output. So those are some of the things due to, I will use a word to say, unfaithfulness of those in government that has been assigned to say, okay, the government is bringing an intervention by way of seedlings, fertilizer, this, that, and that, and all that. These things are substandard and also affect the output of any productivity expectation of any farmer. So these are the things we are saying to government, that whoever that will be put in charge for this, first, these seeds or these fertilizers should be taken to labs to certify them good before being given to farmers. So, so with the area you are looking at, which is the hiking of food pricing, the human factor is the last area we'll dwell on this particular question. Nigerians, we need to have change of heart. Take for example, a woman, this is not an agri sector now. A woman bought a bag for 15,000 and sells for 150,000.
A bag of what?
A bag, fashion bag.
Oh, okay.
So hiking of things is not just farm input and all that alone. Like I did production of rice. There is no need for rice to be sold for 80,000 or 85,000. But again, why we cannot really begin to point fingers at people 100% is because, one, there is very low rate of production in terms of rice farming. So when the rice leaves from the farmer to the third party, which is the middleman, that's what we want. The middleman still wants to make high profits. So, but in a real sense, if you did directly from your farm, you harvest your paddy,
to the consumer.
you do your processing and all that, you should be able to sell rice at a very fair rate. I think a profit margin of 3,000 per bag is not a bad profit margin. The profit margin of 5,000 per bag is not a bad profit margin, but you can see what 15, 12,000 profit margin and all that. And people also hoard these food items to make sure that they sell at a very high rate. This is something we as Nigerians should stop, so that at least, because if like I always say, if the politicians can afford it, the ordinary Nigeria cannot afford it.
And I think this answers the question that probably will be on the mind of the viewer right now.
So why
would I go to the market, buy something at a certain amount, and when I go back,
you want to make almost 400%.
So this answers that
Like
question.
this morning, you know, I love momo. Once in a while, if I want to go
Which
on
one?
momo,
The leafy one
the one with the
Moi moi elewe.
elewe goat. Now, I usually buy for 500. But like maybe a month plus now, I've not gone there. I won't mention the eateries. You know, it's their brands, so let's not mess up their brands. The mama jumped from 500 naira to 1,000. And I asked the lady there from 500 to 1,000. Yes.
When you bought at
From
500, how
500.
much was a mudu of beans? I'm sure it was still the same price.
Ma, irrespective of
No,
the
I
price of
understand. No,
a
I'm
mudu
on your
of
path,
beans.
actually. I'm
At
on this
least,
path.
now, okay,
I'm
for
sure it was
instance,
still the
a
same
friend of
amount
mine
of,
traveled
amount.
to US. At some point, they wanted to increase fares. They took time to do a lot of publicity and all that. You know, they won't declare free fare for 1 month and all that. And when the price review came, it's even less than $1. But why in our own country, you see that when something is leaving, it goes with at most 2,000.
And then it never comes down.
It never comes down.
It
never comes down.
Other countries, festive periods, you know, you see
It's
discounts.
a time to
Exactly.
ease
We
off
have
stress.
sales,
But in
and all that.
Nigeria,
and
it's
all
a
of that.
different.
Okay, that's a good one. So I want to still pick out from what you've said earlier on, because you spoke about the youths, and also you spoke about the elderly people in farming, and then I've come to realize that farming in Nigeria, may be the least of maybe the least accepted amongst youths in our country. Going by the protests that happened, most of the people on the streets were youths. You understand? They were the one chanting the cause of
Ed
hunger. Okay, let's leave it. Yes, Ed hunger and all of that. And then they are expected to, contribute by, like you said, going to the farm. So now I would love to find out from you, what exactly is the role of youth in agricultural development in our country?
Well, the youth, has a lot of role. But if you notice, we have been through phases in our country, bringing initiative that will be attractive to youths. 80% of them has not worked.
So what do you think exactly is the problem of those initiatives that were, brought out for youths to be interested? Like, what really is that problem that's killing the youth's interest in agriculture?
Agriculture is not attractive to them. Why? Let's say you are a daughter of a farmer, and you know what your father went through for years. A farmer from childbirth. You knew what you went through. To even get your first degree was, you could get it.
Of course.
Your mom was pregnant. No good antenatal, no hospitals and all that. Your mom, maybe you are the first child. You see your mom already at the second level of your siblings. 8 months pregnant, still tilling the soil and all that. So they see agriculture as a poor man's job. But agriculture is not a poor man's job. And I thank you for asking this question. I will throw more light. Now, if you notice, it's only in this country that 80% of civil servants still remain in jobs. It's like their inheritance. I'm not digressing. I'm going somewhere.
Of course.
Now, a lot of youth wants to work in government parastatals, In fact, many of them want to work in CBN, some want to work with NDIC, many of them want to name it NLPC, you know, and all that. Why? The package
It's attractive.
is attractive. So if we could make agriculture attractive, whereby a civil servant will look at a farmer, a young farmer, earning more or living well.
And look at him that wakes up early in the morning to go to
join traffic,
yes,
go to work, come back, and 80% of their salary goes for rent.
transportation.
No, forget about transportation. No.
Let's not even go there.
Goes for rent and food. Tell me, what will you choose as a profession in the future?
For farming.
Prefer
Okay,
farming.
we have a lot to still talk about on the topic this morning. We're looking at the fact that Nigerians just want to eat. Please stay with us, we'll be back.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the Good Morning Africa show on Housing TV Africa, still in the studio discussing agricultural project, food security and sufficiency. Guest is still with us in the studio in person of Onapoma Martins, who is the founder and president, Quebec Food Processing Industrial Parks Limited. Now, just while we, pass our time, for a bit, but just to wrap up my own question, before we went on the break, we're actually talking about the attraction of farming to youth and all of that. So what do you think the government can do to, to attract this youth in investing in farming, joining the elderly people to farm?
Okay, you see, the issue of security is one. They need to address that. And I want to assure Nigerians that a lot is being done in that area. We are presently working with the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, and as this week, about 10,000 officers of the Agro-Regions Department that are saddled with the responsibility to ensure that farmers are protected, farmlands are protected, are being deployed to about 19 states. Harvest season is coming and all that. So for security, I want to say that the government is making serious efforts. So youth shouldn't be scared of the issue of insecurity anymore,
Okay.
protective of their lives. Government is working so hard. I can beat my chest for that.
No, that's good.
Now, provision of interventions in terms of access to seed and all that, government should do more than what they are doing now. Then we want government to also buy into our ideology of providing HMO, health insurance scheme, for farmers. Farmers should also have access to housing. So part of the plan is to ensure that farmers should be able to also benefit from the National Housing Funds, a system that can work. And that's why, I don't know if I can say this, but just permit me. The issue of land has become an issue, but what we're trying to do now is to see that everybody can farm in a well-secure environment. You lease the land and you pay certain amount. It covers your security for your land preparation, land clearing and all that. And irrigation, what else again? Irrigation, access to farmers. So what we are still doing, and we are selling that also to the government, which will be jointly be unveiled September 14, our fourth edition of Make We Go Farm, so that youth can come in. So the issue that has to be done is access to farmlands, access to finance, access to irrigation services so that we can do all year farming, access to health insurance scheme, insurance for their crops and all that, good practices to ensure that they overcome the issue of loss of their farm produce. These are things that will enable youth to come in. So, and a good special pay scheme for farmers who want to act as laborers. We already have that already. And we believe by the time we work with the government to unveil that, come September 14th, it will work out very well. So by so doing, you discover that the farmers household is earning close to 400 and something thousand in a month. So by the time you take off deductions and all that, in a month, in a year, a premium that they need as 6-member household, only 108,000 will serve for health insurance. So if all these things put together, you will discover that cities like Lagos will be discongested and our rural communities will be bumping for.
So let's talk about everyday practices that we, folks can imbibe, towards farming, agriculture.
You know more of that.
Somewhere in your garden.
You know more of that.
I do.
You see, the first lady, sometimes people, because of emotions, sometimes we should not be too emotional. We should also look at some things from a positive area. We are open for me. I'm open for partnership and collaborations. Thanks for Bank of Agriculture. They are doing that now. The truth is, the initiative of the First Lady and that is not a bad one.
We're actually going to commend her, give a shout out
because to me,
to her
it's not too wise
initiative.
for you to see the budget to feed guests of the presidential villa. You see vegetables, 2 billion. Doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
You get the point, because vegetable is very expensive now. And my only pain is that even when we talk about, let's do our own garden at home and all that, we need fruits and vegetables to nourish our body, to balance a lot of things. So we should try as much as possible, every opportunity within our home, to plant vegetables. And we can also earn money from that. At least vegetable has made someone before to make a turnover of 40-something million. Sorry, not billion, million. Now, again, most of the vegetables, why we must do that, most of the vegetables you see, they are, I don't know the word to use, please, Joyce, if you can help me. They are too chemicalized.
Organic modified.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
So it also have another side effect on us. So if we can farm our own vegetable at home, as side also, you understand, but it's going to help us.
So you can plant what you eat, because like they say, you are what you eat.
Yeah,
So we would love to give our shout outs to the First Lady. She's been doing a lot, encouraging women to embrace farming.
I need to meet you there, Joyce. I'm sorry. From her initiative, she also launched a program that women by way of competition. So every woman out there, Joyce, I'm waiting to inspect your farm as well. We'll be able to get 20 million, if you can remember.
I'm just looking for sons. If I can get bags of sons.
But the thing is,
I'll start with
it is advisable. It is right. Growing up, I saw my mom, having a garden behind the house. We had bitter leaf, we had pumpkin leaves, we had vegetables, we had okra, we had pepper.
Even bitter leaf.
Bitter leaf, yes. We had scent
leaf. We are just eating sweet
exactly.
things.
We had to go to the market.
You can look for bitter leaf, you can't find.
Yes.
In FCT,
no, you can't find bitter leaf, But then, growing up, I saw my mom, having all of those things in the house. And it kind of cut down the way we went to the market frequently. You understand? So it's really, really advisable.
And when you want to reduce your sugar intake too, you take bitter leaf.
Exactly, you just take bitter leaf. So it's very advisable for every woman out there, regardless whether you're married or you're single. If you have a little garden beside, even if you don't have a garden, thank God for you can improvise.
Yes, you get sacks.
You can have sacks, and then just plant.
You could even do potatoes.
Potatoes as well, and yams, roots.
I think I need to come meet you for some,
Yes, we have to go farm. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you
Martins.
so much, Mr. Martins, for coming.
It's always a delight to have you on the show. Thank you, sir. Any other thing you'd like to say?
My final words to Nigerians is that things will get better.
Amen.
And we should just contribute our own quarter. Because whether government policies are taking time for implementation or for manifestation.
Ensure that you get your hands busy.
Well, for me, I've said it. I'll still say it again. I advise everyone there, to just, have a little farm in their backyards, plant something, do something. Let's go back to farming. It's very important. That way we can be able to, help in reducing the food shortage that we have in the country.
And if you're a policy maker, please, we beg you, stop frustrating the process. you're a wholesaler, stop frustrating the process.
If you're a market woman, stop
the
frustrating
change actually starts with
the process.
you.
Exactly. So on this note, we call it a wrap on the Good Morning Africa show on Housing TV Africa. Thank you so much for sticking around. You can watch this episode and subsequent episode by subscribing to our YouTube channel, Housing TV Africa. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at Housing TV Africa. And good to say that you can download Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store and App Store to stay connected wherever you go. I am Yumuna Bagodo. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Joyce also. See you another time.
Bye-bye.
Housing TV Africa, your first